Hi there, hope you're doing perfectly fine. It's time for Blueprint 2.0, right? So we spoke of why blueprints are important, and Blueprint 1.0 I said about the first blueprint that's all about the self-image that we have. Today it's about the second blueprint, and the second blueprint that's got to grow, that's needed for us to grow, is your relationship blueprint, right? Now, let's understand the kind of relationships I'm talking of. I'm not just talking of the relationships that we have inside our house. Okay, if I split the relationships, they go into three categories. First is the personal relationships, right? Second is the professional, and third is the social. Now, all these three, how we are within each of these relationships is very important. And actually, now, if you observe yourself, you are a different person in relationships, in your personal life, and you're a different person in your relationships, in your professional life. Now, is this a good thing or a bad thing? You decide on your own. And social life, we are all the way very different. I'm going to talk of each of these three in detail in the forthcoming videos of 2.1, 2.2 and 2.3. But to sum up in a short way for all of these, your personal is those relationships that you have with your family, with your parents, with your spouse, with your children, and the people living with you in your house. How you are with them is a result of what you've seen when you were growing up as a child, right? And you tend to emulate the same thing, you tend to copy the same thing, right? Second comes in your professional relationship. Now, professional relationship comes a lot from the first blueprint of self-image, how we see ourselves, whether it's a leadership mindset or it's a followership mindset or a victim mindset of self-image. So depending on that, our professional relationships will end up being, right? Third is your social relationships. Now, unfortunately, in today's world, we've cut out most of our social relations. We've been at a place where we are more social on the mobile than in reality. I mean, I remember the days when I was a child. I would walk into anyone's house in the chawl where I lived. My parents would go and visit any of my uncle, aunt. No telephones required, or no asking, do we come, was required. But today, social visit is like, oh, let's plan, let's call them, let's check if they're available. That's because of how we've become today. We've started following a culture that you need to take appointments to be social too, right? Now, let's talk of children. Okay, what and how they are going to develop in today's world, their relationships of personal, professional and social. Let's understand the personal relationships that they are seeing. Are they seeing a joint family, or are they seeing a nuclear family? And even in the families they are seeing, are they seeing love, and are they seeing a lot of time being spent together? Because their definition of their future is going to be on how they see their parents. So if you look around, all the kids who are born, the millennials, okay, or the generation that's the zenith, the way they are, the millennials are not interested in marriage today because they've seen their parents living, and most of them have seen their parents living a life busy in themselves, all the time working. So these kids are also like, hey, you know what, I don't think marriage works. It's better I don't work in a marriage. Or marriage is one part of person, but even the way the relationships are in the house, right? So if you are having a child and you and your spouse are not having a great relationship, then you need to start looking at that carefully, right? Professional, how your child sees you behave after you come from office or when you're out in an office party. And social is how your child sees you in the society. It could be on weekends, on parties outside, family gatherings. How you behave is how your child is going to like or dislike their relationships with people. Okay, so I hope this has been of help, and in detail all the blueprints, each of them will keep coming. Your 2.1, your 1.1, 1.2, 2.3 will keep coming. Meanwhile, if you think what this is made sense and you want to discuss about this, please chat with me below, and please subscribe to the channel below and click the bell icon. See you soon.